Another dark night. Perfect. Today we got a treat special. Here we got some Noctrnl design LED headlights. Now, I was sent these for free. One of the guys from the company contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do a review, and sure, free's free, man. Can't complain with that. So, what's fancy with these things? They're pure white LEDs, and they replace stock H4 bulbs. Obviously, if you still have sealed headlights, like in a Jeep or something like that, you'll have to get an H4 housing so that these will fit in there. But if you already have the housings and you want to step up from your halogens to something a bit brighter, this might do the trick for you. So let's take a look-ski. They definitely put a lot of thought into the packaging. It comes apart really nicely. So you get this strange, like, sketch-looking thing. You can see what the bulbs look like. You get a product manual. It's borderline useless. It just shows you a couple pictures, but they weren't very helpful to me. Basically, what you do is you put the bulb in, and you can rotate the base to get the beam pattern that you want, and I'll show you that in a second. So they give you two gloves. Not like you really need it. You can use the gloves to take out the H4 bulbs. These ones, I don't really think it matters if you touch them. They're not as sensitive to oils and stuff like that. You get two zip ties so that you can hold your wires and stuff out of the way, and you get two sticky pads to mount these things. Now, obviously, you'll get two. One of them's already installed. Fair warning, I've already used them for a bit. They're pretty cool. So you get these little ballast-looking things. From what I understand, I think they're more of just a capacitor system. So what that does is it removes any of the flickering, because LEDs can turn on and off really fast. So if you have any kind of flicker from newer cars that have PCM, PWM, pulse width modulation, I don't know why they do that on headlights, but that's a common issue when you switch to LEDs, is your headlights would start flickering like crazy. But here's the main unit here. So you can see two LEDs on that side, two LEDs on this side, and you notice the ones closer to the top have a reflective thing there, so I guess that points it in the direction that it needs to be. But basically, it's got your regular H4 pattern. They got all kinds of different ones, so if you have a different version, you can get that. And then it has a base that sticks out on the back, because usually the regular bulbs stop here, so all this is extra. So this is one of the things you got to check, is if you have fitment for these bulbs. It's got a fan on the back for cooling, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Puns. This is rotatable. So this sleeve, or this collar right here, it's got little ball detents. You can see that one there. And what you do is you actually, when you install it, you can rotate it around so that changes which way the bulbs are facing, so you can get a proper pattern. And that's important later. We'll look into how the pattern changes when you rotate these things. But installation is pretty straightforward. You plug this in like you normally would, and then you have this little connector that goes into the ballast, and it's got a little ring, a little lock ring thingy on there, and an O-ring, so it's nice and sealed. But you plug that in, and on the other side of this ballast is your regular H4 adapter, so this is everything you need. It's plug and play, ready to go. So let's go over specs real quick. Alright, so we take a look at here. Each bulb is 36 watts. Okay, so these are 36 apiece, 72 watts for both of them. Each bulb is 3,000 lumens, so that's a total of 6,000 lumens for both of them. Color temperature is 6,500 Kelvin, so that is like a perfect white. I forget if that's a perfect white or a little bit towards the blue side, a cooler LED, but they definitely look very white. So it's pretty spot on. Now they boast that these don't have any dark spots or anything like that. That they've worked on how the bulbs reflect so that everything is illuminated properly and smoothly, and it's got a pretty smooth pattern. I can't complain with it. They use CREE XHP50 LEDs in them, and a high-speed fan to cool them, as I talked about before. They're adjustable. You can rotate them so that you can get the beam pattern you want. And it says right here that the power supply is sealed from dust and has a 50,000 hour lifespan. I don't know if that's just for the power supply or if that's for the LEDs too. But yeah, these things don't have any warm up. When you turn them on, they come on instantly. You can just switch between the low beam and high beam really quick. Looks like a strobe light. But yeah, it's very white, it's very nice, and it does the job. So can't complain right there. Now in comparison, normal H4 bulbs are I think it's 50 watt for low beam and 55 watt for the high beam. So these are only 36 watts. So it's less power needed and a lot more brightness, which is one of the benefits of LEDs. So anyway, that's the kits. We'll swap these guys in and see how hard it is. Okay, so let's swap this bad boy in and see how well they do. What we're going to do is we're going to take all the screws out. So we got a screw down here, screw here, and then you got two in the reflector over here. So you take them out, and then after that you'll be able to get to your other screws. So you want the two on the outside. The one on the inside you don't want to mess with because that's what aims your headlight. And then there's going to be two down here farther apart. One over there and one over there. And this is the side adjustment. So make sure not to touch that one either. In order to remove this bulb, you're just going to twist it a little bit and pull it, and it'll come right out. So pretty simple removal there. And then you can just kind of gently wiggle this out. So once that whole piece comes out, we can get to our main prize. Alright, let's see if we can't remove those screws. Now, here is a wonderful tip for Phillips head screws. If they're ever stuck and you can't get them to back out, like say for instance we just can't back that fucker out, what you do is you actually tighten it a little bit. Just a little, just like that. And now she moves. It's a really, really helpful way to unstick Phillips screws. I don't know why that works, but for some reason it's just easier to tighten it in the direction that it was going previously. And then once you get that little bit of movement, she'll come right out. And that helps you from stripping the heads out. Wonderful work. Alright, just like that, she's free. So we're going to take out this outer shield thing right here, and then you can just pick your headlight out. So this is what the H4 conversion housing looks like. It's actually got a slot on the back so that you can swap in an H4 bulb. Now, like I mentioned, since these are halogen bulbs, they don't like oily fingers on the glass. So make sure that when you pick these up, you're only picking them up from behind. Don't ever touch the glass. So I'll show you what the LED looks like when it's in there. Hopefully it'll actually fit, because that is the only real big thing you got to look into, is if it'll fit with that bigger thing on the back. So just as a side-by-side comparison, you can see the difference in height and stuff like that. So it sticks out quite a bit more. So this is why they say on their website to check for clearance. So it's got the same pattern there. You can see it sticks right into those notches. Now the hard part that I found with the Civic, and it looks like this is going to be the same with this, is getting this damn clip around it. Because this base is so freaking big, you really got to bend it a little bit. What I found helps a lot is to turn this thing to the side, so that way we can get our clip on there. I might have to do this two-handed. There you go. So once you get it around the base, it's not that bad, and then we can turn it back. In the Civic, I noticed that when this is pointing straight down, that is the preferred pattern. It doesn't get in people's eyes, and the high beams look proper. So there we go. So now you got yourself an LED installed, and you never know the difference. Well, not with this one anyway, because it's rusted and cracked and stuff. Let's just see if the housing will fit by itself, because that's the important number one. If it doesn't fit, then you're kind of hosed. That's the thing, there's not a lot of room to work in here. So it's going to be a pain to try to adjust the angle too with that in there. The nice thing with the Civic is, since it was originally designed for H4 bulbs, you can replace them without taking the headlight out. So you could actually just reach in there from behind and adjust it. Also, we can't see diddly squat for if we have clearance or not. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I can't tell, but it seems like it's bottoming out on the back. I can't push it any farther, and I checked to make sure the wire wasn't in the way. You could make these work. It's only off by like a little bit. Probably a quarter of an inch maybe. Okay, so I'm just going to go ultra bootleg here. And I just got the thing sandwiched in there for now just to test it. So this is not at the exact appropriate angle it should be. It might be pointed a little low. But that's the difference in brightness. You can clearly see it is brighter. Now this test is a little unfair because the engine is off. Let's just bring this down a bit. And I can't tell if it's just because the headlight is brighter or not. I mean, it gets bright like really low until it fades off. So I don't know. It's hard to tell if it's reflecting weird or it's just the fact that it's brighter. This is what makes it look like that. So let's bring this down a little bit. First I'll walk in front of the regular headlight. So that's the LED over there. That's both of them again. And then I'm going to walk in front of the LED one. Wow. Bit brighter, huh? Completely different. Interesting. Alright, real quick, throw on the high beams just to see what they look like. So now they're pointed higher. Looking over here, still not bad. The hot spot, that's about when we get bright, right there. And that's still about like sitting in a car. So if you were a little higher than car height, even the high beams aren't really blinding. So again, we'll lower this down out there. So that's the LED. And there's the halogen. Big difference. Because as far as driving goes, it's actually really nice. You can see a lot. And especially on the Civic has crappy headlights. This one has Silver Star Sylvanias in it too. And it's just the beam pattern is crap. The low beams are really low and the high beams are maybe average. So putting the LEDs in there, oh, that's a world of a difference. You can see a lot. Okay, so real quick, we just got this set up in the Honda. So we just got our ballast plugged in. And it just gets hooked right into the connector down here. Pretty simple stuff. So we're going to turn the headlight on and see what it does. Oh, so look at that. Kind of bright. Yeah, it's bright. Really bright. I don't think I can dim this low enough for you to see what's going on in there. But, yeah, you got lights and they're doing stuff. Switch to high beam, see what it does. Let's do a different one or something. Is that the back ones now? I think so. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so here we are with the Civic. So we're going to see how the headlights do. Now, like I said, the headlight on the left, the driver's side, that one was in the car when I bought it. And I haven't changed it out yet because it hasn't died. That thing's been running for over 30,000 miles. The one on the right was a Sylvania Silver Star, which I think only had like maybe 1,000 miles on it. But now it's got an LED in it. So you can't even really, I mean, you can see the yellow a little bit, but again, the difference in terrain changes that. So this is what they look like. You got your LED obviously on the left and your regular headlight on the right. So let's do the little down yonder test. You can see the very distinct color temperature difference there too. So right about there, that's at about hip level. And, you know, that's about what I see too. As for brightness, it's not as bad as some of those HID kits where they just put the HID bulb in there and, you know, the housing completely blinds you. But, I think it gets you to about where I see it. It looks about like that, sorta, so it's not terrible. I don't know if I'd be able to put the rubber boot back on though, so there wouldn't be a dust shield on that if you cared about that. But again, that would probably restrict the airflow from the fan. Interesting. Okay, well maybe I'll put the other side in and take it for a drive just to see what it's like. If we go over here and we spin. Whoa, look at that. It looks like it should be facing to the right. Or maybe hard left? No. That doesn't look half bad. I feel like I'm in a frickin' circus show. Yeah, the best position, well, I don't know, that might be shining at people's eyes. That one right there, I would think. So, on mine, that faces straight up. Interesting. So, maybe it faces straight down? Alright, maybe it's supposed to face straight down then. So straight up and straight down seem okay. So now, real quick for reference, yeah, that's much better. Now there's no reflection in my eyes at all. So, if we turn this brightness down, I can't get it to show on the camera properly, but I can easily look into the housing and see the little reflector thing on there. So yeah, that's the way it should probably be. And then when you come down, it gets much brighter. Okay, I'm actually a lot happier with that. That's actually very acceptable. So that is something good to note. So for mine, the little thinger-dinger has to point down. That is very good to know. So this is the driver's side one installed, and it's clocked, I think, a little bit to the right. So if we check a look at our beam pattern here, it doesn't really have a straight down position, but if you turn it to the right, it's way too high, and you can just see it's all kind of buggered up. That doesn't look terrible either, but I think that's about where we'd want it. Unless we turn it all the way around, we get that, but that looks to be about the same. Now let's check the high beams. So let me show you up front. Oh wow, that looks beautiful. That's actually pretty impressive. My phone hates me though, it does not like looking at this stuff at all. But that's cool. I want to go for a drive, see what it looks like. And just in case that wasn't ricey enough, here, let's turn on the big boy. Oh yeah, now we're fucking racing. Oh shit. Oh, that is funny. Okay, so here we are at night. So a little overexposed. So that's about what we see. And when we turn it to high beam mode, it does this. And again, it might not be clocked properly. It just kind of looks like it's pointing to the left. So it's probably not pointed the way it should. But yeah, I don't know. And that's the light bar. So now the light bar doesn't even look that impressive. Headlights are brighter than the light bar is. Huh. Crazy. I'll just take you down the road, just so you can see. Here's low beams. That's high beams. Low beams. go higher, I guess. But they look like they point a little to the left, so I don't know if I have them properly adjusted. Again, I'll let you know when the guy gets back to me about which way they should be clocked, but just as an initial test, I mean, this is cool. It's brighter than the halogens I used to have, so, you know, that's cool. There we go. So low beam, high beam, low beam, high beam. You can't see it on the screen all that well, but the signs do get brighter back there, and I guess the beam does go higher. It's just not as noticeable. Not bad though. Not bad. Those of you curious what the beam pattern looks like, let's bring this down. That's low beam, and that's high beam. So street signs are nice and bright. Okay, so that's about what I see. So let's just take you for a trip. It's not bad. Sometimes it's a little bright though on the dark streets. Alright, so here we are in the rain. I don't know if this will turn out nice at all. Oh wow, the camera actually picks up the headlights more than I can see them. That seems to be a problem. That's about what I can see. A little less. Okay, a little foggy out tonight. I am noticing that sometimes these beams shine a little high, so it's a little hard to see through the road as much. So I don't know if that's just the way the beam's pointed or what happens when you have a wider light versus more yellow. I don't know. It's not the worst, but in really dense fog it might be a little annoying because it reflects so much of it back. That's where fog lights would be useful. Alright, so here we are after about a week of use. So far not bad. So I didn't actually attach these or anything, I just left them hanging. But so far so good. They don't look messed up or dirty or anything bad. They still work just fine. So that's good. I kind of just did the bare minimum effort of putting it in there. Hard to say if anything's gotten inside the housing since that time. Since the boot's no longer on there. I don't know, but they're certainly bright. Can't complain with that. Although, I don't know, I think the reflecting off the housing's a little bright. That's the only thing that sucks about modifications like this. This happens a lot with people that do really cheap HID swaps, is sometimes the housings will reflect light differently on aftermarket bulbs like this, and if it's shining in people's eyes, it's going to look like your high beams are on even if they aren't. So it's one of them safety things. You don't want to be a douche and blind people. And for those of you that are curious, this is how bright it is in the daytime. So they are on right now. But they look good. Alright, so yeah, big shout out to Michael for letting me actually try these out and, you know, keep them and, you know, review them. I'm actually really happy with them. I've been using them for about a month now, and I'm just in love with them. I don't see myself ever going back to halogens now. Like, these are just beautiful. I like them a lot. You know, they're bright, but I don't think they're killer bright, you know? It's not like stupid blinding. And I love them. I really do. They're great, because this is the kind of upgrade that I needed for my Civic. Because I was tired of dim lights. I tried adjusting and all kinds of stuff. I even polished the headlight housings, and it just wasn't doing it. But this right here, this does it. So I've been talking to him quite a lot, and the customer service there is excellent. Yeah, he's he's awesome. I actually like these lights so much I bought a pair for my dad for Christmas. So yeah, if you're interested in you know, some LED retrofits, go check out Noctrnl LEDs. I'm impressed. And you know, he said to give an honest review, and honestly, I mean, I tried to fit them in the Jeep. I kind of wish they fit, but they don't. But you know, they make tons of you know, 200 millimeter like full housings that you can get replacements. So if you're looking into LED, you might have to go with a different brand, but at least it gives you an idea of what LEDs could look like. So all right, thanks for watching, and Michael, thanks for sending these out. I love them. They are awesome. All right, Happy New Year's.